Infantry don't just need artifacts, they live or die by them. Unlike cavalry and mages, infantry fight close, so artifact choice make or break them. I will show you why artifact selection means survival, burst damage, positioning, and support. And I will start with the first thing that I think is extremely important for the infantry, and this is survival, since infantry obviously is the troop with the biggest HP defense in Call of Dragons. They may not have that much attack, but at the end of the day they're the tanks in the game. So first type of artifacts that you have to think about infantry is actually survivability. One of the latest artifacts present in Call of Dragons is like them. This is Serpent EH, that is going to give you up to 60% HP. This is on level 1, obviously it's going to be 60% at level 5 for 15 seconds, and on top of that is doing damage, which is a little strange, but at the end of the day this artifact is also going to do some damage. And this is one of the ways how do artifacts extend the infantry life. There is many other artifacts that can extend infantry life. It can be shields, it can be heal, it can be stuns, and many more. Or there is even artifacts that can actually make the enemy attack you. Obviously everybody knows this is Spirit Bond Torque. This artifact make everybody to actually attack you. But this is mostly because Season 2 heroes, basically Gorsh and Skogul, was a heroes based on the counterattack. And still, even that you're taunting 5 legions, you're still going to get a lot in return from this artifact. This is going to be defense bonus up to 30%, normal attack damage taken reduction up to 10%, infantry counterattack damage bonus, this is the main purpose of this artifact, is going to be 20%. So still, even though that this artifact is based everybody to attack you, still going to give you crazy survivability attributes. One of the other artifacts that I can also point, this is, I currently don't have this artifact, but it's actually free to play player friendly, and this is Deadness Vines. This artifact is immobilizing the enemy. On top of that, you're going to also receive Shelter, which is going to boost your defense by 20%. This is level 1, so this percentage in form of defense is going to get increased. I can also say for Shield of Sturdiness that you also are doing some kind of stuns, but at the end of the day you're going to jump directly in the enemy, so I'm not quite sure this is a good survivability artifact. But there is just one more that I think is also very good, and this is Greymar Warhammer, which is doing some diffuser damage up to 4 enemy legions. On top of that, damaged legions are stunned for 4 seconds. From what I know, they cannot do any kind of counter attack, so you can basically hit them for free when you actually stun them. And this is also increasing the survivability of the infantry, at least from the infantry in the front lines. Obviously the range of this artifact is not going to catch mages or marksmen, they're going to continue hitting you if your infantry are blocked in the front lines, but if you're close to the mages and marksmen, you basically jump directly in them with make away or other type of ability, you're going to also stun some mages and marksmen. I think this is extremely valuable. It's not going to increase your defense, your HP or something like this, but still is doing some kind of a stun. And maybe I can say Dragon Scale is also a good artifact that is going to increase the survivability of your infantry legion. You're going to receive shield for 10 seconds and the shield factor is 2.2. This is the biggest shield in Call of Dragons. Even Madeline is not giving you that big a shield. Up to 3 surrounding friendly legion get attack increased by 10% for 10 seconds. And you have to keep guys in mind that this is at level 1. All the artifacts I present is at level 1. So all the stats you see may actually change. Now let's talk about something more interesting, even that lately infantry has started getting some crazy reports in form of merits, and this is damaging boost artifacts. Do artifacts really add damage to tanks? This is maybe a question that came to my mind when I was thinking, should I actually add a damage artifacts in this video? And the short answer is yes. And one of the most recognizable artifacts is actually what I'm using right now on the Goresh. This artifact, Storm Arrow, is the most used artifact from the infantry right now in Call of Dragons, because of the synergy when you're blinking, you're blocking the enemy heroes and etc. The ranged legions like mages and marksmen, but in the same time, the moment you blink, you have some specific range. Obviously this thing is going to get increased, the range, with each level, but you're going to get damage bonus up to 24%. And if you teleport Goresh and Kuma, this is just a suggestion and something that I'm going to do. You're going to get 24% damage bonus. Obviously it's for 4 seconds. It's not something crazy, but still with Goresh and Kuma, the only thing you're needing is basically just to teleport there. Now, what is the other things that this artifact is giving is Legion attack 22%. Cavalry unit attack most likely is not going to help you that much. And maybe I should actually level up this artifact, because one more star is going to give me damage do bonus extra 4%. But still, we're looking that we're going to get some rampage, we're going to get some Legion attack, and it's apart from some crazy strategy in Call of Dragons, and this is the Blink Infantry. And honestly, Blink Infantry gameplay can flip the whole map in your direction if you execute Blink Infantry the right way. So this is one of the damaging artifacts, and maybe I can also add this artifact. This is Greymar Warhammer that is doing some damage and at the same time is doing a stun, which is aggressive, offensive and defensive artifact. Still very nice one. Now the next section is going to be the positioning tricks, and basically can artifacts change where infantry are fighting. And here comes the 2 artifacts immediately in my head. We already spoke about the Blink or Storm Arrow, that you basically are doing Blink Infantry, but there is one artifact, and with this artifact, if you don't have it, most likely you're not going to go far in the tournament championship. And I'm talking about this one, Shield of Strudiness. This artifact, since when you start the fighting, is basically the tank are coming in your direction, the DPSs are moving, you don't have any kind of control. And with Shield of Strudiness, you can stack all of the enemy range and melees at one place. This is going to give you great opportunity for AoE damage dealers or AoE artifacts to actually hit way more harder. As you can see from this small picture here or this small video, you're basically pushing the melee units right next to the range units, and you're going to start AoE farming them. This is something that I noticed with this artifact. You're going to go very far in the tournament championship. If you don't have it, most likely it's going to be very hard for you to compete for the top places. There's going to be some exceptions for the people who is having something very developed, like level 5 of the artifact, example as VIP or VIP 16, and all these things that just going to by default getting more stats for his legion. But this one is the easiest way to win tournament championship, and this is changing the location. On top of that, having couple of this Shield of Strudiness can actually change the whole strategy, because when the 2 infantry, your infantry and the enemy infantry, clash at the middle, you're normally starting with your mages to start hitting the enemy infantry are start hitting your infantry. But with this shield, you can basically push the enemy infantry right next to the mages. If mages decide to change their positioning, basically go a little back and start shooting, or the marksmen go a little back and start shooting, you're going to lose a very valuable time in DPS, which is going to give you an edge in this situation. If they don't move anywhere, the your infantry is basically fighting in the melee range with the mages and marksmen, and from there the damage that the infantry are doing are going to be more. Most likely your DPS is going to focus over the squishy mages and marksmen and not actually hitting the infantry. So in situation like this, you have decent chance to make heavy casualties on the enemies just by having like 3, 4, maybe 5 people with Shout of Truthiness, and you only need it at level 1. I think with level 1 is going to give you this push, and you're looking just for this push right there. And this can be extremely valuable in choke fights and many other places where just by having these artifacts, Shout of Truthiness or the arrow, the blink storm arrow, can actually change the whole tactic on the battlefield. And let's talk about the team support artifacts that the infantry can do. We already point out some of the artifacts, which is Dragon Scale Armor that is giving a shield for 10 seconds, up to 3 surrounding friendly legion get keen. This is one type of support. It can be also some infantry, it can be cavalry. It's going to be in the melee range, obviously. This is one of the boosters. I'm not so sure that there is other artifacts that is doing good, let's say, for the surrounding legions. But yeah, at least this one for sure is going to help your front lines. I think this artifact is also a good one. It's also giving 3 boon shields to a select friendly legion. Okay, maybe this one is not actually it's not actually in this category, but yeah, at the end of the day, there's going to be some artifacts can also support the other legions. So this is the types of the infantry artifacts, and you have to decide which approach you want to take. So far it's extremely popular to go with the storm arrow and basically do some blink infantry. Spiritborn Torque is also very valuable artifact. It's giving pretty decent defense, I'm not gonna lie. Even if you taunt like 1-2 people, still this artifact is going to give you the shelter, normal attack damage taken minus 5%. Obviously this thing can be scaled up, and giving you some counter attack. We don't care that much about the we care about the counter attack. If you're Goresh Kogo, everything there is based on the counter attack. So yeah, don't forget to like the video, guys, if you enjoy it. Also subscribe if you're new to this channel. Let me know in the comments which is your favorite infantry artifact and how you use it. Are you looking for survival approach? Are you looking for aggressive approach? Do you want to support the team on the front lines? Or you're looking more for mobility and repositioning your infantry on the battlefield? So I wish you a great day and see you in the next video.